which we call the Lavra of the church abroad, because this is the largest monastery, it's the oldest, and it's special in more ways than one. And one of the reasons it's special is because of this cemetery. If we had a week of our time, we could walk around many of the burial places. I could tell you stories about hundreds of people. Why? Because during my seminary years, one of my major obediences, послушание, as we say in Russian, was to take care of the cemeteries. Back then it was much easier to take care of than it is today, because it has grown exponentially. It's grown at least 5 or 6 times since the time I was here. We would cut with our clippers around the frames of the burial places and all kinds of other things, and we would help in the burials. And of course, during the course of all these years, many famous people, people who made a mark in the Russian emigration, are buried here and in the old cemetery across the street. But also there are people buried here who led incredible spiritual lives. They haven't been canonized yet, but if you get to know them, you know that they lived a good, sanctified life. Because canonization of saints in the Orthodox Church begins with the people. You and me, all of us. And one of the reasons we have these annual pilgrimages to this wonderful monastery and to this cemetery, and particularly because of Brother Jose Munoz-Kortes, who touched our lives incredibly during his lifetime. He had a very difficult life. You can imagine, I think only Father Niktari can appreciate this in its fullness. You can imagine he would get constant calls from people from all over the world, asking for prayers, asking for myrrh, inviting him to places all over the world. And it must have been very tiring for him. He wasn't married, he was alone. He didn't have the benefit of having a spouse next to him where he could pour out his feelings and get advice and so on and so forth, all the good things that we have in marriage. He was misunderstood by many people, even by some of the higher-ups. But God gave him a martyric death. First of all, he was chosen by the Mother of God to bear the Ideron icon, which became known as the Montreal icon. What a podvig that must have been. What a spiritual responsibility. Again, only a person like Father Niktari can appreciate and understand this in its fullness. We can only imagine. We know when we priests, when people call us, sometimes we have to change our plans and go to the church to serve a panikhida, go to the hospital to visit someone. But for Jose, it was a constant. People would call, pour out their feelings, he would listen, and he would pray before the Mother of God. Why was his life taken away? We can only, of course, theorize, but the enemy of our salvation, as I said yesterday, of course, I'm just repeating myself, hated the fact, despised the fact that this icon was drawing to the church multitudes. That this icon with the holy myrrh was healing people of grave illnesses. And of course, for the enemy of our salvation, he didn't want this. And the best way to deal with it from a satanic point of view is to get rid of the custodian. And with the custodian, the icon is no longer visiting parishes as it did before. And for a short period of time, until 2007, we were like orphans. We became so used to the Montreal icon, and suddenly it was gone. Its custodian was gone. Our dear friend, the chosen one of the Mother of God, was gone. And I strongly believe that the most pious people in the church abroad never forgot Jose. They prayed that the icon be found. They prayed that the icon continue its mission of drawing people to the church. And in the end, what happened? In October 2007, in the most unlikely place, Honolulu, Hawaii, a paper copy of this icon was given to Father Niktari. There is a definite connection because it's the same icon, just in a different form. Of course, Father Niktari could say a lot more about this, and he already has. But we can only, with repentance and gratefulness, give thanks to God that He has given us the opportunity to once again see not the Montreal icon, but the Hawaiian icon of the Iveron Mother of God.